Hello and welcome everyone on this official platform of Legacy IAS Academy. So today in this session, I am going to discuss one of the most important personality of modern India. That is none other than Bal Gangadhar Tilak, who is also called as father of unrest, who is also called as father of Indian revolution. Okay. So the contribution of Bal Gangadhar Tilak cannot be denied because he gave a new direction to the India's freedom struggle. He developed modern ideologies and he showed us the relevance of youth in Indian politics. Clear? So today we'll be discussing about Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Okay. Why I am discussing this topic today? Because recently on 23rd of July, his birth anniversary was there. That is why today we are going to discuss this topic in this session. Clear? So, now Bal Gangadhar Tilak, who is also infamously okay, now who is also infamously known as the father of Indian unrest. Okay, the father of Indian unrest, and he is considered as one of the first leaders who stood for Swaraj. Though the idea of Swaraj was given by Swami Dayanand Saraswati. Getting my point? Okay. So the Swaraj, the idea of Swaraj, okay, he stood for this idea. For him, Swaraj means self-rule. Getting my point? Self-rule. And he also popularized the quote that is, Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. Clear? And even Mahatma Gandhi called him as the maker of modern India, which is also relevant. Okay. So first we'll try to understand some of the things like, okay, now we'll try to understand about Bal Gangadhar Tilak. So first we'll try to understand his early life, okay, early life, then his education, then his career as educationalist, then after resigning from the college as a teacher, then he started his career as a journalist and politician. And then after this, the era of extremist, which starts from 1905 to 1917. Clear? So these things we are going to discuss, and with these things we are going to cover whole life of Bal Gangadhar Tilak. We'll try to understand his contribution in India's freedom struggle as well as other things. Getting my point? Okay. So first we'll start with early life of Bal Gangadhar Tilak. So early life, he was born on 23rd of July, okay, 1856. Okay, 1856, as you can see here. Tilak was born in a Chit Pawan Brahmin family of Maharashtra. So basically in Maharashtra, Ratnagiri, okay, is the name of the place. And his father was also a teacher and a great Sanskrit scholar. But when he was 16 years old, his father died. And at an early age, he got married with Tapi Bai. And later the name of Tapi Bai was changed to Satyabhama Bai in 1871. Clear? Now, when it comes to education, in 1877, he obtained Bachelor's of Art in Mathematics from Deccan College of Pune. Okay. Then he left his MA course midway only, and he wanted to pursue his career in law. So he started pursuing LLB, and in 1879, he obtained his LLB degree from Government Law College of University of Bombay. Clear? And after his graduation, he started teaching mathematics at a private school, okay, in Pune, from where he withdrew later and he became journalist. So later he withdrew from there and then he became journalist. See this time period, the time period is very important. Getting my point? 1879. Okay, this is the period where political associations started. Small political associations were there. Madras Mahajan Sabha, Pune Sarjanik Sabha, these kind of sabhas were there. And that is why in 1885 you will see that different political associations merged together and they formed INC in 1885. That is a pan-India level organization. Clear? Now, Tilak as educationist. Now, in 1880, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, okay, he co-founded a new college, that is New English School. Okay, so Tilak co-founded New English School. Okay, now this New English School for secondary education, and his few associates were like Gopal Ganesh Agarkar, Mahadev Ballal Nam Joshi and Vishnu Shastri Chipulankar. Now, why this school was founded? This school was founded to promote education for the youth. Getting my point? So this basically was founded to improve the quality of education among the youth, because Bal Gangadhar Tilak, he thinks that youth is the backbone of country, youth is the backbone of political system. Even today also this thing is relevant. Okay, so to empower the youth of India, he started this school. Now, in 1884, Deccan Education Society was also set up by them. So by these peoples only, Deccan Education Society was created. Now this education society was created to give the education in English medium and to promote youth with Indian cultures, Indian philosophies along with English education, because Tilak and his associate, they think that English is the main medium which can disseminate liberal ideas, because in 1880s various liberal ideas, various things were going on in global politics. For example, French Revolution was already happened. Then in 1880, that means unification of Germany. Germany became a nation in 1871. Italy became a nation in 1870. Okay, to make these things understand to youth of India, English is very important. Getting my point? So English was important to disseminate the liberal and democratic ideas among the youth. Getting my point? So after 1 year, that is in 1885, you can see here that this society, Deccan Education Society, established the most famous college of Pune, that is Ferguson College. Okay, and this college was created for post-secondary studies. Even Bal Gangadhar Tilak taught mathematics here for some time. Okay, and then finally in 1890, Tilak resigned from this society, Deccan Education Society, and Tilak joined newly formed Congress, because Congress was formed in 1885, and in 1890 Tilak joined Congress. Now we need to understand his career as a journalist and as a politician. Clear? Now, from 1890, Tilak turned his attention towards the public affairs and he started two weekly newspapers. Now, so Bal Gangadhar Tilak, okay, the journalist, politician. Now, in 1890, Tilak turned his attention towards public affairs. Getting my point? And he started two weekly newspapers. Two weekly newspapers. Now two weekly newspapers. Why? Now, first of all, the first newspaper is Kesari. Another newspaper is Maratha. Getting my point? Okay. Maratha. Okay. Two newspaper. Okay. Or you can see here Maratha. This was the newspaper. Clear? Now, Kesari newspaper in Marathi language and Maratha newspaper in English language. Two languages were there. Now, the question here is why these two newspapers were written. Okay. Now, these two newspapers started to awaken the political consciousness among the people. Getting my point? To awaken the political consciousness among people. Clear, everyone? So, to awaken the political consciousness among the people, Tilak started two newspapers. Clear? So, because at that time 90% of population was illiterate. Okay. So, the Congress was established. So, you will see that from 1885, the moderate leaders, their main aim was to make people understand what is independence, what is nationalism, what is democracy. Getting my point? Because 90% people were illiterate. They were unable to understand what is nationalism, what is independence. Clear? So, these things were there. This is the most important thing. Okay. Now, after this newspapers, he wanted to widen the popularity of national movement. Okay. Now, his aim was okay. Now, his aim was to widen the popularity of national movement. Okay. Why? Because initially the national movement was only confined to upper classes. Getting my point? Initially the national movement was only confined to upper classes. Now, if you want to include the lower classes also, okay, so for that you need to make them aware. Okay, now how you are going to make them understand regarding nationalism and freedom struggle? So what Tilak did, Tilak started using religious symbols. He started using religious symbols, okay, to instigate the sentiments of people. Now, religious symbols, like he started telling these stories like Maratha struggle against Mughals, and to build anti-imperialist sentiments, to build anti-imperialist sentiments among the people. So he started writing about Shivaji festival and Ganpati festival. So he celebrated Shivaji festival and Ganpati festival. This much is clear. To build anti-imperialist sentiments. Okay, that is why it is said that religion is the half brother of administration. Okay, because religion also manages the administration. Clear? Now, after this, in 1897, because of Tilak's writing, okay, so in 1897, because of Tilak's writing, Tilak was prosecuted for sedition for his writing. Now, why he was prosecuted for his writing? Because he has written against the provisions of Epidemic Act. Now, in 1897, Pune has faced bubonic plague. Getting my point? Many people have died. Clear? So he started writing against the provisions of Epidemic Act of 1897 for tackling bubonic plague, and this plague was engulfed in Pune region. Clear? So Tilak, now in his writings, at that time the plague commissioner was Rand. Okay, Rand. So he had targeted the commissioner Rand, and his writings incited, or you can say instigated, two youth. Okay, his writings instigated two youth, and those two youth had killed Rand commissioner. So those two youths were Chapekar brothers, who had murdered Commissioner Rand. Clear? So ultimately you can say that the writings of Tilak also instigated revolutionary terrorism. There is a topic in modern history. Clear? So the trial, because of this, the trial and sentence of this case, okay, and because of his writings, Bal Gangadhar Tilak became popular among the people. That is why he earned the title Lokmanya Tilak. He earned the title Lokmanya. Lokmanya means beloved leader of the people. Okay, so he was sentenced to 18 months in prison, okay, where he developed his ideas regarding Swaraj for the first time. Okay, so in prison he developed the ideas of Swaraj. Clear? Now, Tilak's idea of Swaraj was gaining popularity, and he became very important extremist leader of Congress during that time period. So gradually his ideas were very much popular. So after coming out from the jail, now see his time period, he was sent into prison for 18 months. Okay, that means 1 year, 6 months. Okay, 1 year, 6 months. That means prison for 1.5 years. Now, after releasing from jail, the new Governor General, that means in 1899 to 1905, who was the Viceroy of India? Lord Curzon. So the advent of Lord Curzon. Okay, Lord Curzon. It is said that he was the very capable Viceroy. Okay, among all the Governor Generals or Viceroys, he knew the real condition of India. Okay. That is why in 1899, when Lord Curzon came, he did various reforms and he brought various acts. Okay. And he wanted to curb the participation of nationalists in legislature and politics also. Okay. So, his main policy was, Lord Curzon's main policy was partition of Bengal. Getting my point? So, in 1905, Viceroy Curzon partitioned Bengal on communism line. Okay. So, Viceroy Curzon partitioned Bengal on communal lines. Communal lines. Communal lines means based on religion. Based on religion. Getting my point? So he partitioned Bengal based on religion. East Bengal, which is dominated by Muslims, and West Bengal, Hindu Bengalis. So what he did, he divided Bengal on communal lines. Clear? Now, so first of all, let me tell you that Bal Gangadhar Tilak, at that time, he was active in politics, okay, that is active in Congress as an extremist leader, okay. So, this decision was criticized by Congress, especially extremist leaders. Okay, this decision was criticized. Now, here you need to understand Tilak policies. So, because of this, Tilak came out with a policy called as boycott of foreign goods. Boycott of foreign goods. This was his policy, and gradually it was turned into Swadeshi movement. Gradually it was turned into Swadeshi movement. Getting my point? It turned into Swadeshi movement. Now, in 1906, Tilak forward a plan in front of Congress. In front of Congress. And what was the name of that plan? Passive resistance. Passive resistance. So you need to understand there are two policies of Tilak, that is passive resistance and boycott of foreign goods. Clear? Now, with this plan, Tilak wanted that people should ready to sacrifice for the independence of India against foreign rule. Getting my point? So he came out with this plan. Okay, and in 1907, the moderates have a kind of soft corner for British. They believe in the policy of British. So what they did, moderates unable to cooperate with extremists. Getting my point? And moderates wanted that Britishers will bring some kind of relief. Okay. Now that is why moderates did not agree with the political actions of extremists. That is why in Surat session of Congress split happened. Congress split means separation of moderates and extremists. Okay. So here Congress split. That is split between moderates and extremists. Getting my point? This much is clear to all of you. Okay, so let me tell you one more thing. So I hope this much is clear. Now try to understand. Congress was established in 1885 and Congress can be divided into three phases. First phase from 1885 till 1905. This phase is called as moderates phase. Okay. Then second phase 1905 to 1917. This phase is called as extremist phase. Okay. Now moderates policies were 3 P's. 3 P's means they will do petition. Okay. Petition, then protest and prayers and propaganda. So 3 P's are there. So they believe in constitutional methods of British. Clear? They used to think that British rule is good for them. Okay. Now second is extremist phase. This is the phase of radicals who believes in boycott and passive resistance, that we will resist against the rules and laws created by British. And third phase is Gandhian phase from 1917 till 1947. Gandhian phase. Okay, so we are discussing the policies of Lokmanya Tilak, Bal Gangadhar Tilak. So he belongs to extremist phase. This much is clear to all of you. Okay, Now, the era of extremists started from 1905 till 1917. Clear? Now, so Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Lala Lajpat Rai, Bipin Chandra Pal, these three leaders were extremist leaders, and their writings instigated the revolutionary activities in the country. So after the decline of extremists in 1908, you will see the rise of revolutionary terrorism, first phase of revolutionary terrorism. So here you are going to get one formula. Okay, remember this thing. And even Aurobindo Ghosh, these peoples were also associated with extremist leaders. Clear? So Bal Gangadhar Tilak, through his newspapers and writings, he started criticizing the British policies and moderate leaders, okay, who advocated for social reforms on the Western lines. Okay. Now, Tilak was against social reforms which were done by the Britishers. Okay. He said that these social reforms should be done by the Indians after Indians get self-rule. Clear, everyone? Okay. So finally in 1908, so after Congress split in 1908, Britishers started arresting the extremist leader. So this is the policy of British. Okay. That what they did first they started, or you can say they gave their support to moderates so that Congress can be split into two parts, extremists and moderates. Okay. And then in 1908, finally the extremist leaders were arrested. Okay. Extremist leaders were arrested. So Tilak was charged with sedition and inciting terrorism, that his writings instigate people for revolutionary activities. Okay. So he had defended the actions of Khudiram Bose and Prafull Chaki also. These two are revolutionary leaders. Okay. They are called as revolutionary terrorists. Why? Because Khudiram Bose and Prafull Chaki, they had tried to assassinate the district judge whose name was Mr. Kingsford in Bengal by using bombs. Getting my point? So Tilak had defended them. That is why Tilak had sent, he was deported to Mandale jail. Mandale jail, Burma, for 6 years. That means in 1908, now Tilak will come out in 1914, 6 years prison. Okay. So because of poor condition of the jail, that poor condition had impacted on his health also. Okay. And he was released in 1914. Now 1914, when we say 1914, this era, this year is also the starting of First World War. Okay, First World War started. Getting my point? So because of his health issue, he was released from jail. Okay, and after coming out from jail, Tilak politics had mellowed down. That means downfall in the politics. Now, why downfall? Now, you need to understand the strategy here. So, let me tell you the strategy. Now, strategy here, first of all, see, 1905, partition of Bengal. Okay. Now, why partition of Bengal by Curzon? To curb the nationalist activities in Bengal. Now, because of this, a movement was started, that is Swadeshi movement. Swadeshi movement. And the most important tools of Swadeshi movements are boycott of foreign goods. Another tool was passive resistance. Getting my point? Now, when the Swadeshi movement was started in 1905, again Hindu-Muslim unity was there. Hindu Muslims used to tie rakhis on their hand and celebrated as Raksha Bandhan. So Britishers saw this as an attempt against them. Getting my point? That is why British started again divide and rule policy. British started divide and rule policy. Okay, and that is why, to curb the participation of Muslims in Swadeshi movement, British called the Nawab of Dhaka. Okay, and Britishers told Nawab of Dhaka to stop Muslims in taking the participation in Swadeshi movement, and that is why in 1906 Muslim League was created. That is why Muslim League was created. Okay, and the moment it was created, okay, the participation of Muslims was stopped. Now, Muslims stopped now. Now, another strategy of British is to divide the Congress, to split the Congress. So, moderates were favoring the policies of British. They have faith in British, but extremists, they were against the policies of British. So, in 1907, Surat split of Congress. Surat split, where extremists and moderates were separated. So after this split, in 1908, Britishers arrested. In 1908, British arrested extremist leaders. And the movement was stopped now. Tilak was arrested for 6 years till 1914. This was a strategy of British. Now here you will get one formula, and because of writings of extremists, it incites, it instigated revolutionary terrorism. So you will get one formula, and the formula is, whenever mass movement was stopped, you will see revolutionary terrorism. So the first phase of revolutionary terrorism was started from 1908 to 1914. So I have given you example also. Prafull Chaki, Khudiram Bose, they tried to assassinate district judge Mr. Kingsford. Okay, that comes under first phase of revolutionary terrorism. Now in 1914, First World War started. Against Germany. So British participated in First World War. Okay. and a ruler can wage a war only one front. So already from 1908 till 1914, revolutionary terrorism was going on. Now First World War started, so Britishers cannot divert their attention from First World War. Okay, so they had to stop revolutionary terrorism anyhow. So what is the formula to start revolutionary terrorism? Whenever mass movement stopped, revolutionary terrorism will rise. Clear? And to curb this revolutionary terrorism, again you need to start mass movement. So what Britishers did? To stop revolutionary terrorism, British released Tilak from jail. British released Tilak from jail. Getting my point? Britishers released Tilak from jail. And after coming out from jail, okay, now Tilak wanted to start some movement, and Tilak also supported Britishers in First World War. Okay, so you can see here. So now you can see here Tilak politics had Tilak politics had mellowed down after this. Why? Because his support of British government in First World War, and he had also given speeches to encourage youth to support British war efforts. So he was encouraging youth to support British war efforts. Okay. Now, what would be the situation? Now, what was the situation? Now, try to understand the background first. Now, when Tilak came out from jail, so already Congress split happens in 1907. So, Congress, on one side, Congress was facing political vacuum. Why political vacuum? They were not having a popular leader among masses at that time. Now, Tilak was a popular leader, but Tilak was not having a political organization. Getting my point? So, Tilak started Home Rule League 1916. Tilak started Home Rule Movement. Home Rule League. As you can see here, he established All India Home Rule League in Belgaum, Karnataka. Okay, and here he has given the slogan that Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. So the main aim of Home Rule League is self-rule. The main aim was to gain self-rule. Getting my point? To gain self-rule. So with this Home Rule movement, Tilak again got popularity among masses. Okay. But Tilak need political party also. So Tilak is looking for a political party, and Congress, INC, is looking for a popular leader. Okay. So now you will see that again moderates and extremists will be joined. So in 1916, Lucknow session, Lucknow Pact was happened. So Lucknow session of Congress was there, where Congress, that means moderates and extremists, joined together again. Moderates and extremists joined together. And also, who was the leader of Lucknow Pact? Who was the main leader of Congress at that time? The main leader of Congress was Muhammad Ali Jinnah. At that time, he did not join Muslim League. So the main leader here is Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Okay, so here moderates and extremists join together, plus Muslim League also join hand with Congress. Why? Because in First World War, Britishers were against caliphate rule of Turkey. Okay, and caliphate shows the religious head of Islam, religious sentiments. That is why Muslim League comes together with Congress. This was the main reason. This was the strategy. Okay, so this home rule movement, it worked in Maharashtra, it worked in Berar, it worked in central India, okay, Karnataka. Clear? Remember this thing. And on the other hand, one more home rule organization was there, which was started by Annie Besant. Clear? So after that, Annie Besant also joined, also collaborated with Bal Gangadhar Tilak in terms of Home Rule League movement. Clear? Now, in 1918, Tilak visited England, okay, as a president of Indian Home Rule League. So, in 1918, Tilak visited England as a president of Indian Home Rule League, and he garnered support and he had a good relations with the British Labour Party. Which was emerging as a major stakeholder in British politics. Now, there was one case that is Tilak versus Chirol in 1919. Now, this Valentine Chirol, he was an editor of London Times, okay, and he has published various articles in 1910, and he had written a book called as The Indian Unrest. So he had written one article in a book, and the name of the article is The Indian Unrest, where he has written that Tilak is the father of Indian unrest. Okay, that is why Bal Gangadhar Tilak filed a defamation court against Valentine Chirol in the court of London, okay, in 1919. But Bal Gangadhar Tilak lost this case. Clear? So his supporters, Tilak supporters, started Tilak Purse Fund, and with this fund will help Tilak to fund the expenses of case. So Tilak supporters started Tilak Purse Fund. Why? To fund the expenses of this case. Getting my point? Okay. Now, this time Tilak was not involved in Indian politics because in 1918 he visited England. So Tilak was not there in Indian politics, but from 1917 already another important leader came in India, that is Mahatma Gandhi. So after Tilak, you will see the role of Mahatma Gandhi in Indian politics and Indian freedom struggle. Getting my point? Okay. Now, on 1st of August, now, death of Tilak. Now, on 1st August 1920, Tilak died. Okay, 1st August 1920, Tilak passed away, and this is the date of launching of non-cooperation movement. This is also the date of launching of non-cooperation movement by Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, so 1st August Tilak died. Okay. Now, the vision of Tilak, like complete independence, mass movement, hartals, boycott of foreign goods, this vision later fulfilled under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. Boycott of goods, hartals, strikes. Okay. This vision of Tilak was fulfilled under Gandhian leadership. Okay. Remember this thing. So, Mahatma Gandhi, because of his death, Mahatma Gandhi started Tilak Fund. Now, why this fund was started? Tilak Fund was started to pay the respect and the contribution and the sacrifices of Bal Gangadhar Tilak in India's freedom struggle. Getting my point? So this is the story of Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Okay. So his role cannot be denied, because after his death, his vision, his views, okay, were later on taken up by Mahatma Gandhi, like passive resistance, like hartals, boycott. Okay, so these things were fulfilled under the Gandhian leadership. Okay, that is why Mahatma Gandhi called him as the maker of modern India. This much is clear to all of you. Okay, so this is all about Bal Gangadhar Tilak. So I hope this session is useful for you. Thank you so much. Do like and subscribe our channel Legacy IAS Academy. Thank you.